guys to my Dumbo RC 6-channel transmitter and receiver review. Now in this guys, I will be doing a demo of my Traxxas rally car with the Dumbo transmitter fitted to it. Now you might be thinking, why is he doing transmitter and receiver demo, guys? This Spectrum 6-channel receiver is waterproof, but it costs yours for about $65. This Dumbo RC one, 6 channels, is yours for around about $27 to $30 for the pair, guys. Whoa! This is a Richie whoa moment, guys. I am nearly lost for words. The transmitter has like ABS on the braking function on here. It pulses the brakes. I've just been out testing the car this afternoon down at Shell Sands, and under heavy braking, you can either, it's actually doing like a proper ABS and pulsing the brakes, which means the thing stops A, in a straight line, and B, it stops phenomenally quickly. You know me, you know how much I rave on about having good brakes on the car, guys. This thing absolutely transforms the handling of my Traxxas Rally, as you'll see in a full-on test towards the end of this video. ABS on an RC car, guys. I'm lost for words. Me, lost for words. Not only that, it's also got a built-in gyro function in the receiver. Now if you want to make that waterproof, you could go out and buy a bottle of conformal coat, yours for about $8 or $9, and make it waterproof. So there is a huge difference in price. Best of all, guys, not only is this 2.4 gigs, so nothing's going to interfere with it, it's got a claimed range of 400 to 500 meters, and it's got a built-in fail-safe, so if it goes out of range, nothing nasty is going to happen to the car. It's going to bring itself to a standstill. So on paper, looks pretty good. Anyway, let me show you just how I got there. Okay guys, so let's put the name Dumbo RC to one side and check out what we get in with this package. So we've got our quick start guide, and I'm guessing our instruction manual in there. So I'm going to have a read through that in just a second. More to the point, let's go straight down to the radio. First things first, on the Dumbo RC 6-channel transmitter, guys. Specs, it's 2.4 gigahertz, so nothing's going to interfere with it. It has got a 3 millisecond reaction time. That's actually comparable with the Spectrums, which have got a 5.5 millisecond reaction time. So this, on paper, is very, very fast reaction time on a radio indeed, guys. And it's got a claimed range of 400 to 500 meters, which is just staggering. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go out and prove that distance of a range on there, but that is absolutely phenomenal at any price point if it has got that kind of range. But we will see. I have to say, this thing is packed full of features. As I say, we've got a full 6 channels. First things first though, power. On-off switch on there. What's the big deal, Rich? On-off switch, yeah. Takes 4 AA batteries. Yeah, what's the big deal, Rich? Under here, there's a little socket, and it will actually take a 2S LiPo in there instead of 4 AA batteries. A very neat touch. Not seen that on a transmitter before. We've got channel 1 for the steering, channel 2 for the throttle and brake, channel 3, we've got a little button under there, channel 4, slider switch under there, channel 5 on the top, and channel 6 on the top. Now channel 6 is also tied in to the gyro that's built into the receiver. So this receiver, guys, has a built-in gyro, which in effect means this thing has got like Traxxas TSM-like capabilities built into the receiver, and you can dial the level of control, or the level the gyro kicks in at, from the top of the transmitter, just like you can with Traxxas TSM. Not only that, you can turn the gyro function off completely and just use this as a separate 6 independent channel. So you've got true 6-channel functionality on there. It's not just a 6-channel dedicated to gyro. You can change it to other stuff if you want. Overall, it's got a reasonably solid feel to it. It's no more or no less plasticky than other transmitters on there. We've got a little USB port at the back, and I'm not quite sure whether that's for being able to take an input out to your phone from there or not. So we'll need to investigate that, guys. On here, we've got reversible throttle, throttle trim, throttle dual rate, reversible steering, steering trim, and steering dual rate on there. So fully functioned on there, guys. But there's a little bit more to this than that 6-channel gyro function on the top there. It's got the ability to mix channels 1 and 2, guys. So if you happen to have a car with running 2 ESCs on there and 2 motors, you can make both motors move at the same speed by just squeezing the throttle on there, and the car, or a tank I guess, would go forwards in a straight line and brake in a straight line. But if you're moving forwards at the same time as steering, the steering will alter the speed of the motors so that it will actually act as like a differential between the motors, enabling you to steer. So that's a function which I've not seen on a car transmitter before, but I can see that being used for, particularly for people's project cars. Quite a neat little feature, I thought. Okay guys, quick demonstration of the car on the side so you're going to be able to see how the gyro works. What it is designed to do is, so the back end of the car, as that drifts out, the front end of the car will steer into the skid, enabling you to corner on a much controlled and harder basis. If you see there, when I move it around, the front wheels are steering on their own. To prove that, guys, both hands. Look, C-bar. Okay, now you're going to be able to dial that movement up and down with the gyro. So I'm going to turn that right down now on there. And we've got no input at all from the gyro. It's not doing anything at all on there at the minute. I'm going to turn that right back up to 100%. And you see it steering into the car. So completely variable there, guys. It's not just on or off, much like the Traxxas TSM system. You can vary it between 0 and 100. So I'm going to leave it at about 50%. Let's go down Shell Sands and test this thing. Anyway, quite nice transmitter. I think there's absolutely cracking value for the money there, guys. There we have a 6-channel receiver. Now I would point out you could waterproof this with using conformal coating. A bottle of conformal coating is yours for about $10 in there. So you can make a fully waterproof receiver very, very easily. And speaking of that receiver, we have a bind button on the end, so there's no need for a bind plug with this receiver. It's simply going to press the bind button and that will then search and connect itself to the nearest Dumbo RC transmitter. And you can actually buy a separate mount on there to put your phone on there if you've got maybe an FPV camera built into your car. Okay guys, I'm quickly going to fit the Dumbo RC 6-channel receiver to the Traxxas Rally, get it powered up, get the ESC sorted out, and then take it out for a quick spin and do a practical demonstration of how that gyro function works on the car. Speaking of that price, guys, I would just say there's a link to it below this video. Currently they're at just under $30. When I bought this on special, it was just under $27 because it's got 10% off on there. But anyway, after this demonstration, I have a feeling you'll probably want to be going and checking it out online. For binding, have the transmitter turned on, then turn on your ESC. You just hold that bind button down for a couple of seconds till the green light flashes and it virtually instantaneously pairs with the transmitter on there. Now guys, the steering on there is the opposite way around to what it should be. Simple flick of the switch and the steering is set. Now I just need to prime that ESC in order to get the throttle working. Okay, got my Castle ESC set up. So we're ready to go out and have some and set the gyro mode on the car, guys. To turn the gyro mode on the receiver, all you've got to do is push the bind button in 3 times, and then you will notice, although I've got to put the receiver in its proper place, see how the steering is counter steering into the car, into the direction, the opposite direction to what the car is sliding. Like when the back end of the car kicks out that way, the front end of the car will turn into the skid, exactly the same way that Traxxas TSM does. You're also going to be able to use this on a drift car as a gyro on there, and you're going to be able to adjust the level of effect that gyro has by using channel 6 on the top of the control layer. So let's get this all back together, take it down Shell Sands and test the thing. Well, welcome guys to the outdoor part of my Dumbo RC radio test. On this car, this converts it from being like fairly good to being absolutely outstanding in terms of handling. That gyro, boys, makes a world of difference. Traxxas TSM, eat your heart out. This thing is just as good, if not better. And the brakes, guys, don't get me started on the brakes. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to take you through the handling with 0 gyro input, handle being with 50%, and the handling with 100%, because it simply transforms the way this car handles. And as for that distance, boys, oh mama. I've got the gyro turned down to 0 to start with, so it's having no counter steer input into the car whatsoever. Now, that tail end there wants to whip out a bit quick. Now, I'm going to turn the gyro up to 50%. Guys, that straight line performance is pretty darn good. You see the gyro getting the working on there. You can ease off on that, whereas it was getting lift off oversteer before. Now, when you're easing off, it's counter steering into it.
so it's not that short. Oh, nearly perfect there, Rich. So that combined with a centre diff just made that thing brutally effective. It really is one in all. It's the level of control the thing brings. It's just surreal now. Oh. Somebody said I don't do much drifting on this channel, boys. That enough drifting there, boys? Getting the car to hold its line is just, it's phenomenal. It just does not want to be unsettled at all. With a 50% on there, with 100%, as you will see, the steering radius is decreased a bit, but still phenomenally good. In a straight line. I was going to show you some of I've been testing it in a straight line just now, and the handling, straight line handling, is just ridiculous. Oh, an hammer. See that gyro doing its thing there, guys. Oh. Okay, so time to send that gyro up to 100%. Now, I know that's gonna decrease the steering radius from that test in the garden, but it is not wanting to, it's wanting to hold its line absolutely rock steady. Now look at that, lifting it in the rear wheel there. You can't really provoke the back to go out at all other than under control. It is just transformed the handling of this car. I have to say, those ABS under the braking. The brakes on the thing on loose gravel, just ridiculous. See how fast that's pulling it up. Straight line handling has just been transformed. Just gonna handle down there. Now, see about that 400-500 meter range. That's gotta be probably 200 meters away from me, guys. That straight line, look at that, look at it working on there, guys. Awesome, awesome. See that counter steering? Goodness only knows the distance on that thing. If anybody can see it there in the distance, they've got better eyes than me. But it's still under control there. I can't actually see that well because it's so far away to bring it towards me, but we're gonna have a try. Oh.
Okay guys, I'm going to speed up the next segment as the car is so far away I can barely see to navigate it back to me, so it takes me a little while to do so.
Quite comical trying to steer the car from this distance, guys. This would be an ideal radio for speed runs, because that thing is just like stupid far away. I have no doubt at all this thing is gonna, that 400 to 500 meter range is gonna be true of this car, guys. I can barely even see the thing to bring it towards me. Well guys, distance testing the thing, it's just got ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. To distance test it, it's beyond where I can keep it and... Oh, drive straight, Richie boy. That braking is, it like keeps pulsing the brakes as the car is coming to a stop. Absolutely phenomenal on this loose surface. Really good. Distance wise though, it's just ridiculous. Got the gyro on 50% and it's just not wanting to get unsettled at all. It's just going exactly where you point the thing. So boys and girls, what do we think of that? The range on this thing, exactly as it says on the box, a staggering 400 to 500 meters. The car is that small, I can barely even see it in the distance to bring it towards me, guys. Absolutely phenomenal. The stock Traxxas radio probably would struggle to hit like 250, 300 feet. This thing exceeds that by a country mile. If you're doing speed runs, guys, this could definitely be one to consider, particularly at that price point. The braking, that ABS thing with the pulsing of the wheels on there. Just simply phenomenal, the speed it brings the car to a stop at. Anyway, if you love this as much as I am doing, guys, as you might tell, I'm quite excited by this test, which is a lot to say. I'm dead excited by radio, but I'm loving this thing. There is a link to it below the video. All comments and questions about the radio, guys, most welcome.
Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video, and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.